hello there, all you wonderful people of the internet. So today's video, we're doing something a little different. There's been this thing going around where you say, like, make an assumption about me. It's been on Instagram, and people leave assumptions, and you tell them whether they're right or wrong. So I did a personal one a few days ago. Ryan did a personal one a few days ago.
Kinda.
Sorta. He didn't answer all the questions, I assume. He answered like 3.
Yeah.
I think you could still go back and answer them. But anyways, we are going to do a couples version. So I asked you guys on my Instagram page for assumptions regarding Ryan and I. Just a forewarning, this is not going to be an appropriate video for children. Because there were some adult things discussed in it. So I know some of you watch with kids. This is not the video for them to watch. So I'm just going to hop right into it. We're going to try to answer these semi-quickly. So let's just get started. So the first one is that we don't discipline our children and we let them do whatever they want.
That is far from the truth.
No, we just don't ever show discipline on the vlogs because we should be parenting. So fully in parenting mode, not pulling out a camera. So
yep.
And our kids wouldn't appreciate that being shown either.
Correct.
So, we had a lot of assumptions that we never fight. So we don't really fight.
Yeah, we don't really fight. It's more of we get frustrated with each other and we'll walk away from the situation and then come back and apologize. And kind of go that route. But there have been, in the 8 years we've been together, there has been some yelling, like once or twice, I think.
Yeah, like really.
Like not often. But yeah, most of the time it's just we get frustrated with each other, we get annoyed, and then we come back a few minutes later and say, okay, I'm sorry. Pretty much take it from there.
We pretty much always both apologize. Like there's never a time where it's just like one of us says I'm sorry, because it takes 2 to argue. You're usually both wrong. Next one is that they assume that we don't like when ThePfledPfam approaches us, and she meant this in a nice way, because of my anxiety specifically, like that it would stress me out. So this is actually not true at all. Like, we would love if you guys would come up to us. So definitely say hi. The one thing I will say is, because of my anxiety, sometimes I look angry when I'm out.
Me too.
And I have just a resting bee face. So if we look angry, we're not. Because of my anxiety, sometimes I'm just like so focused in on what I'm doing that trying to like not pay attention to surroundings that I look angry, but I'm not.
And if you do come up to us and you introduce yourselves, we'll be happy to meet you, but you must remember we both are somewhat socially awkward.
Yes, we're introverts.
So if you feel that the situation is slightly uncomfortable, it's all the way around.
Yeah.
And we apologize in advance for that.
So next assumption is that we waited to have sex until we were married. So we have done a video on this. I will link it up above. We did not.
That is not the case.
But when we got married, we had not had sex for 2 years.
I would recommend watching that video if you are wondering why.
Yes.
We go into more detail.
So we got a couple things that we're great communicators and that no subjects are like taboo or off limits for us. I would say yes. We talk about everything. I wouldn't say there's anything that I'm like, I don't want to tell Ryan that.
I would agree. I mean, there have been for me some things that's like, I don't want to talk about that, but eventually I did. So, yeah. We
got another assumption that Rev is mature for her age. I would say no. She still has like the emotional maturity of a almost 4-year-old, but she's definitely a lot more intelligent than the typical almost 4-year-old. At least so we're also told by many others, not just like, my kid's the smartest. She definitely understands intellectually a lot more than the typical almost 4-year-old. But maturity-wise, she's definitely like a typical almost 4-year-old. She doesn't have emotional control. There's a lot of fighting with her and Ari, but again, we're parenting during that. We don't film it.
Right.
Next is that we would have more biological children if Ariana's health wasn't a concern.
Nope, that's not true. We're done. 3 is good, and then adoption down the road.
Yeah, and my thing is like, even if I could, I want to leave, like, I know where my like mental capacity is for children, and I want to make sure that we leave open spaces in our home to adopt, because that's what we want to do. So if I keep filling out biological children, I won't be able to adopt.
Right.
What's most important is that we can make sure that we give each child the attention that they need. So next is that we both want what is best for our kids, but I am more headstrong and do all the research about things like raising kids the Montessori way, EC, and Ryan is just always supportive of what I think is right.
For the most part, yeah.
But I don't just like do things without you saying, yeah.
Right.
I think it's just more so, which there was another question This one, you have so much in common and think so much in the same way that you don't ever challenge each other. And that, I think, is where that is true. That like we have so much in common that we don't challenge each other. And I think that's why I am the researcher and I'm the one that finds these things. So when I bring him to him, he's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's definitely things that we disagree on. And we've kind of talked that out, and either we just agree to disagree, or, you know, one of us kind of starts to understand where the other one's coming from and starts to go over to that side of the argument. But I mean, for the most part, we, like that said, we do think in the same line. So a lot of times we can just kind of already be thinking of something the same way, and then one of us brings it up like, oh, what about if doing that? It's like, yeah, absolutely, do it.
We both love Chipotle. Yes, we do. You're right. Okay, we got a lot of assumptions about our sex life, and that is that we are very sexual, that we're freaky in the bedroom, and that we have a good sex life in general. Yes. Yes, we do. Yes to all of the above, I guess. And like talking about this, I actually mentioned it in mine when someone asked about starting a podcast. And I had discussed with Ryan before about us starting a podcast from a Christian couple's perspective on sex, because we both kind of feel that sex is not like an open conversation, especially in like the Christian or just religious in general. It's just not something that's talked about at all. And so there's unfortunately a lot of couples that get into marriage and like have a lot of questions and they're not answered because it's not something that's discussed openly. And a lot of you guys on my Instagram said, yes, do it. And the whole reason that I even like really started thinking about it was because, you know, I'm open with my close friends about Ryan and I's sex life, and a lot of them have told me like, you and Ryan need to start a sex podcast. So if you guys would be interested in that too, it obviously would be an adult only podcast. So we have been discussing possibly starting that, but we'll see. Do you want to add anything more to that, honey?
Got nothing else to say other than it's accurate assumptions.
Okay. So next assumption is that Ryan is an optimist and I'm a pessimist.
Mostly true, though Ariana likes to classify herself as a realist.
Yes, I'm a realist.
Which is also a hint of pessimism in there. Most definitely an optimist. I always see the best in things, and I always just trust that things will work out as they need to, and go from there.
And I'm the opposite.
And she's always worrying. I say, you don't need to worry, just trust me.
I know.
You know, trust me, and I trust that things will work out, and therefore
it's getting so blue. The sun's going down, so it's just turning straight up blue.
Bluer and bluer. And
weird. Okay, next assumption is that they think that Ryan is more laid back with the kids and that I'm more the one that sets the rules. I'd say we're pretty dang even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither of us just lets our kids get away with things. We both are the disciplinary ones.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think there will be a, oh, go ask dad or go ask mom, because they're more likely to say yes.
They try it.
Yes, they do. But
or
when they're older,
Rev does,
yeah,
no.
when they're older though, they'll know that it will always be a, if they come to us, like we'll have to discuss it first before.
And there have been times that Rev has come to me and asked me for something. I said, what did mommy say? She said yes, and said, okay, well, I'll go ask mommy what she said. And then she said, no, don't do that. Like, okay, that's what I thought.
All right, the last one is that we don't give a rat's butt about what others think of us.
For me, for the most part, yeah.
Me, I definitely am. Well, one, I'm like a people pleaser too, and like I don't like when people are upset with me, so I'll like try to like figure out why they're upset with me. So no, I definitely do care. Shouldn't, but I do.
So for me, it kind of yes and no, I guess, because when it comes to in my life and people I interact with daily, I tend to care more. But when it comes to like people's negative thoughts of me that they put out on the internet and comments or whatever, I couldn't care less at all.
Yeah. So that is gonna be it for this video. We hope that you guys enjoyed it.
If you did, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and welcome to the Blue Fam.
Yeah. And we will see your wonderful faces on
tomorrow.
Yeah. Friday.
Right? Yeah.
Friday.
Yep, okay.
Bye.
Bye.